So for a advanced metal HSLA properties, we're going to talk about slightly into the applications of a certain automotive industry stuff. Alright, so this is a graph shown in your provided materials. Okay, and this is the initial so-called scatter of the mechanical properties. Mechanical properties indicates this type of scattering from 300 to 1000 MPa because how do I say, different processing methods, alright, new processing methods produce less scatter in the mechanical properties, because sometimes, for example, you may create a piece of metal, but however the properties may have certain difference. Alright, for example, this is the first metal, you test it, it has 300 MPa, and then you test with a second, you have maybe 400 MPa. If you test the next one, you have a certain maybe 350 MPa. So different metals will have different type of somewhat strength, alright, based on different compositions, I believe. That's why I created this type of different strength. I don't know, but nonetheless, this is the scatter of the mechanical properties from 300 to 1000. Alright, and therefore this is the scatter plot over here. So as you can see, these are all the plots. I don't know how it's being plotted, but these are the different properties in terms of yield strength, tensile strength, and elongations. So I think it's, oh okay, you give me a while. I think so. I don't think so, never mind. Okay, anyway, so this is the before. Alright, so I think this is the uncontrolled so-called rolling process, the conventional one. So this new process is called the control rolling process. As you can see, the scatter plot is slightly better. As you can see, all the things are more smaller. Alright, so it's more defined, and you can define the exact strength of your materials, alright, or strength of the processing method. So you have a new process that creates a lesser scatter, and also a more to also determine that exact point where you believe that most probably you will acquire this type of megapascal type of thing, alright, things like that. So hopefully this is pretty clear, and therefore over here there will be a tensile strength things, and it's talking about formability against tensile strength. So if you are able to form meaning you are forming the shape, alright. So if you can better form the shape, then the tensile strength will be lower. Alright, if you can't form the shape properly, then the tensile strength is higher. Is it trying to say like that? I also don't know. It's a dual phase steel and a deep drawing steel. Wow. Dual phase steel is a high strength steel that has ferrite and martensite together as one. Okay, so I also don't know what thing is going on. So this is a dual phase steel microstructure. I don't think I need to elaborate. It's really seriously a lot of stuff. So deep drawing steel is a sheet metal forming process. So you are trying to create a sheet of metal, so it's using that. Alright, but dual phase steel, I think you can form it with as a 3D as a block lah. You no need to be a sheet. So over here, if it's a deep drawing steel, then it's talking about a sheet of metal. So a sheet of metal, as you can see, has a so-called lesser range of tensile strength, alright, given a large range of formability, alright. So over here, given the same amount of formability, there will be a difference in the tensile strength, I guess. I don't know how this graph works actually. Anyway, I'm wasting your time. Anyway, let's go. Let's talk about the properties of the steel, given that I've explained it not very well, but it prevents crystallization, as we say, and then you can using micro alloying, dual phase, and precipitation hardening. Dual phase is just the different martensite and ferrite together as one. So martensite is one phase, so-called ferrite is another phase. So you mix them together, called the dual phase. precipitation hardening and microalloy. Let's take a look. So I think you can watch this video to know more about the precipitation hardening, and therefore let's go.
Hardening, often referred to as age hardening, is a form of heat treatment used to increase the hardness and the yield strength of certain types of metal alloys. Precipitation hardening occurs by forming small precipitates within the initial phase. As you can see in this drawing of a grain structure, the red dots that have formed are a representation of how the precipitates will form evenly throughout the grains in a secondary phase. The precipitates are submicroscopic, so even under a regular light microscope, the precipitates wouldn't be visible. There are 3 steps to precipitation hardening. The first, solution heat treating; second, quenching; and third, precipitation heat treating. The first, solution heat treating, all solute atoms are dissolved to form a single-phase solid solution. It is heated up to a predetermined temperature depending upon the metal alloy. It is brought up to that temp until all of the solute atoms are dissolved into a single phase. Since there is only one solid phase, Greek letter alpha is used in a phase diagram. The next step is quenching, where the alloy is rapidly cooled to room temperature. The third and final step is precipitation heat treatment. The precipitates start to form as finely dispersed particles throughout the grains in a secondary phase, which are represented as the red dots within this grain structure. Sometimes this step is referred to as aging. The temperature for step 3 is less than step 1, so that the correct precipitates form inside the initial grains without overtaking it. After solution heat treatment, during the precipitation hardening process, the tensile strength and hardness are aged to a certain point, and after that point, if the process isn't stopped, they will become overaged. So as you can see in this graph, the temperature is brought up to and maintained in solution heat treating, a certain temperature, until it all becomes one solution. Then it is rapidly cooled to room temperature. Then it is brought up to a secondary temperature, which is less than the first, until it reaches desired aging, then cooled to room temperature.
So this is very important. Again, this part.
Solution heat treating, a certain temperature, until it all becomes one solution. Then it is rapidly cooled to room temperature. Then it is brought up to a secondary temperature, which is less than the first, until it reaches desired aging, then cooled to room temperature.
Okay, so I think it's pretty clear for the precipitation hardening process. Let's talk about microalloying. So to be exact, this alloy still contain very small amount of alloying elements with all these materials, and are used to refine the grain microstructure to facilitate precipitation hardening. So they're all together as one to create this type of so-called dual phase, the ferrite and the martensite, I guess. Yeah, ferrite and pearlite, I think. Forget. But anyway, this is the thing to control the solid solubility and grain size. So what is solid solubility? Solubility is not solubility. So the solubility is talking about is an entire different property of the rate of solution, which is how fast it dissolves. So it's talking about how fast it dissolves, or because you want to dissolve different materials inside. Alright, since we are talking about mixing different materials, if you remember the microalloy. Alright, so therefore yeah lor. Hopefully this is pretty clear. Yeah, I'm learning while saying what I'm saying over here. So learn together lah. And then happened that I didn't properly say is that dual phase, maybe I should use, I don't want to use this screen. Yeah, this card. Because I scared later you cannot see. Because I'm recording, but sometimes the recording don't works. So therefore it give me problems. So nonetheless, let's go into here lah. Easier for us to see. Yeah. So as I have said this graph over here, but I want to highlight certain stuff like tensile strength. So you want to balance between formability and tensile strength, because in terms of properties, alright, if you want a good formability, then you will choose a deep drawing steel. It's in terms of a sheet of metal. So high formability while however low tensile strength. However, if you want to use a dual phase steels, as we say, then you will have a large range of tensile strength to choose, but the formability can be also an issue. so you need to work it out. At least you get to see the different stuff, and also the mechanical range will be different. Alright, so you can shorten the range to be smaller distribution. Alright, hopefully this is pretty clear. And nonetheless, I think the properties to highlight is tensile strength and formability. Alright, in terms of 300 to 1000 MPa, I think. So this is the things I would believe quite important. Yeah. And we have somewhat talked about the properties already. And let me see. I don't want to confuse you any further anyway. So I think I'll just somewhat stop here. So the properties itself are these two, alright, and you also need to know this type of stuff, how the properties are being derived, how to by controlling the solid solubility and the grain size, alright, and to ensure that it's good properties of strength and formability. So I think this is the highlight of this video or nonetheless of this lousy video. Yeah, so see you in the next video to talk about applications or HSLA applications. Alright, so I think today I'll just settle up till here. Yeah, so next video this one, maybe next video this one. See you.